Good evening. Woo. Are you enjoying the worship this week? So good. So good. Won't you capture me with your love and tether my restless heart? Amazing lyrics. How many of you like Walt Disney World? Yeah? So I grew up out west, so I from California, but now I live in Phoenix, Arizona. So I always went to Disneyland. And there's one ride there that I do not like at all. And because I have a disability, it used to be the policy of Disneyland that you don't have to wait in the lines. Therefore, guess what? I got really a lot of friends all of a sudden. And they would ask me, would you like to go to Disneyland? Why? Oh, just to hang out. Yeah, why? Why? We don't want to wait in the lines. All right, let's go. Mean. You know what made it worse? They wanted to get me on this ride that they knew that I despised. You don't know what the ride is? It's a small world. It is so hideous. I have nightmares every time we go through that building. You're on a boat ride, it's called la, 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 la. And then you go in this building and there they are. And they're staring at you. And they're ugly. And their nose are everywhere. And they sing this song over and over and over and over and over again. And as if that is not enough, they sing it in different languages. They're riding unicycles above your head. They're their eyes, when they open and close, you hear them click. Robotic. You know what I want to do? Is the next time we go on that ride is take a BB gun with me. Boom! Yeah. It's a small world, after all. Yes, it is. And it makes me think about our lives, right? Because if you stood this morning to say that you were dealing with a storm, or if somebody you knew was dealing with a storm, it became a small world today. Why? Because we all relate to a storm. I wish life was a smooth ride without that It's a Small World theme going on in the background. I wish we could just relax. I wish we could just calm down. I like taking pictures. I'm not the best photographer, but here's some picture I want to share with you. I took this from my iPhone. It's a picture of, you'll see it here. Thank you. Rowboats, row your boat. And then I like that picture because of the reflection of the clouds in the sky up above. Pretty cool, right? But look at this picture. What is that? It's a beach pier. What happened? I shake. I have tremors, and depending on whatever day it is, you either get the first picture, crystal clear, or you get that picture, which is a mess. It's out of focus. But actually, that's one of my favorite pictures that I've ever taken. And I'm thinking of doing this. I have a blank wall in my house. I want to put that picture on a metal frame, like on metal. Giddy up. I think it would look great. And then I think to myself, why would I pay that much money to put a print on metal? Because it's not cheap when it's out of focus, when it's unclear. Because I look at that and I think, maybe it's just artistic. And maybe that's what your storm is. It's just a piece of your art that God's working in your life. He's working through you. I don't know what your storm is, but I can tell you this, it's a small, small world. Yes, it is. We may not be able to relate specifically to your storm, but we can relate to what it means to have pain and heartache. And I know in the room this size that a lot of you are struggling inside. And we can't actually see what's going on into your life, physically speaking, on the outside. But inside, there's things in your life that you're just holding in. Lord, won't you capture us with your love? And tether our restless hearts so that we may just calm down and rest. I'm going to share a story with you that speaks to my soul. It always has, and it's in Mark chapter 4, and I will read this. It's verses 35 through 41. That day, when evening came, Jesus said to his disciples, "Let us go over to the other side." And leaving the crowd behind, they took him along just as he was in the boat. There were also other boats with him. And then something happens to this It's a Small World extravaganza. It's no longer calm. A furious squall, verse 37, came up and the waves broke over the boat so that it was nearly swamped. Jesus was in the stern, sleeping on a cushion. The disciple woke him and said to him, "Teacher, don't you care if we drown?" Jesus got up, rebuked the wind, and said to the waves, "Quiet, be still." Then the wind died down, and it was completely calm. And he said to his disciples, "Why are you so afraid? Do you still have no faith?" And they were terrified and asked each other, "Who is this? Even the wind and the waves obey him." I have 3 questions tonight to ask of all of us. The first one is this: what is out of control of your life right now? I want to share with you a couple of pictures of my life story. The first one is this. I don't know if you even know what that machine is in front of me. Do you know what that is? Yes! You know what that is? You have one? Don't ever get rid of it because they're awesome. So, I can't write. I can type. I can't write with a pen or pencil because of my tremors. And I call my shaky penmanship scribbles because they don't fit within the lines of the paper. They go everywhere. They're a mess, so I have to type. I was born with a condition called fine motor cerebral palsy, but it's mild. It's not what you see right now. Well, I'll get to that in a minute. But cerebral palsy was still mild that you can't really detect it other than I use a typewriter and other than that I would tremor a little bit in my hands. I can run like the wind. I was one of the fastest kids in middle school. I was sports-minded. I never played competitive sports, but just with neighborhood kids. I enjoyed life. My voice was perfect. I didn't talk like this. I didn't walk like this. I didn't look like this. You can see my cerebral palsy. The only thing that you can see in it is that my tremors and my typing, that's all it was. And then I go to bed in 8th grade one night, and everything is completely fine. And I wake up the next morning, and I stand up when I get out of my water bed, the best bed in the world, by the way, and my head fell forward, and I can't lift it back up, and it was so far forward that my chin was touching my chest. And I didn't think much of it. I thought I just slept wrong. It's gonna go away, whatever, it's all right. It never went away. In 8th grade, I went to bed overnight and woke up with this, what you see right now. And it took them 2.5 months to diagnose it. It's called torsional dystonia. The next picture is this. I'm a sophomore, a freshman in high school in that picture. My head is all cockeyed. I can't hold my head up anymore. This lump on the back of my neck, it's a muscle. Avengers, move over, hello. It's a muscle. And suddenly I got teased. And as I look at this piece of scripture that we just went through, I look at how Jesus said when evening came, he said to his disciples, let us go over to the other side. What's out of control of your life? Let's go over to the other side. Don't you wish that you could say that about your life right now? Let's do something different. Let's get rid of this and go over to the other side. I want calm out of my chaos. And it's interesting here because it goes on to say that they left the crowd behind. And they took Jesus along as he was, just as he was in the boat. Student, Jesus loves you as you are right now. And he's taking you on a journey. And it's hard. I know it's hard. I live it every day. So many times I wish I could go over to the other side and do something different with my life, but I know that he has me where he wants me. I can rest in the power and authority of who this Jesus is. And it's so hard to do. I just want a calm boat ride. That's it. Leave me alone. I want my out-of-focus storms to become picture perfect. It's out of control. What's out of control in your life right now? What in your life do you hold on to? What are you afraid of? What are you ashamed of? What do you get embarrassed because of? Maybe that's what Jesus wants to use in your life. I never thought I would be a speaker. I can't speak. I don't have the voice for it. But for whatever reason, God, that's what you're going to do. And I fall down and I have object lessons in my forehead, and it's just the way it works. Student, I want you to take heart tonight. Because Jesus wants to capture you in his love. But your heart has been so tethered to something else. And it's time to release it. And he goes on to say in the story that a furious wall comes up and it just breaks all over the boat. Now it goes from a calm to chaos. And waves are going over the side of the rows of the boat, so much so that the boat is starting to feel as if it's sinking. And it's getting in the way. And as I read this scripture, I think, well, what happened to the other boats? We don't hear about them anymore. There were other boats at one time. Where'd they go? Because when you're in your own storm, it always becomes just about you. And I get it. I fell tonight. I told you that. You know what I deal with when I fall? PTSD. I live my life all over again. I live my pain all over again. Because my muscle and nerve disease didn't get better, it got worse from that 8th grade morning when I woke up. From my 8th grade year to my senior year of high school, I didn't see a better day. Every day got worse. And by the time I was a senior in high school, you know where I was? I was confined to a wheelchair. Point number 2. How are you trying to contain your storms? Question number 2. So we talk about these storms in your life. How are you trying to contain them? What methods are you going through? You know what I love about this story? When Mark 4 begins, you know where Jesus is? He's in a boat, but what's he doing in that boat? In the first verse, he's standing in a boat teaching. And now this story that we just read is the last segment of chapter 4. You know what's happening here? The application of what he just said. He talked about planting seeds as an analogy, a parable. He talked about being planted on the good soil of life. A lot of times storms, they do nothing but plant you on where it is that God's taking you. And as all this storm is happening, here we go. I would say this too. Verse 38, Jesus was in the stern, sleeping on a cushion. La, 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 la. The disciples woke him and said to him, "Teacher, don't you care if we drown? What are you doing sleeping in this boat? He's in the back, he's in the stern." You know what that speaks to me about? We shuffle our storms off to the back of our lives because we don't want other people to notice them. They make us look weak, so where do they go? Off to the stern of our souls. They're in the back. But where is Jesus? He's right in the back. Why? Because we can rest in the power and authority of who Jesus is for the rest of our lives. It's not a chore. It's a freedom. It's a gift that we don't deserve. How are you trying to contain your storms? The Sea of Galilee is not a sea, by the way. It's a lake in Israel. It's a freshwater lake. They just call it the Sea of Galilee or Lake Tiberias. It's 13 miles long, it's 8 miles wide. It's beautiful. I've been there 3 times. I've been on that lake in a boat, enjoyed it. And right north of it is Mount Hermon, which is 9,000 feet above sea level. And the cold air from that mountain will swoop down at times and clash with the warm air from the lake, and it will create storms and capsize waves. It's crazy how it works. There he is, Jesus, taking a nap. What's he doing? He's resting. Don't you care if you drown? They ask him. I get it. Are you asking that same form of question right now about your life? Well, if God is a God of love, then why would he permit you, Chris, to deal with what you have to deal with every day? That's a good question. He's captured me with his love. He's changed my life. Oh, well, then that's just a crutch. All right, sure, go for it, yeah. Whatever you want to believe, yeah, I don't know. It's not a crutch. It's truth. Because he has power and authority to even calm the biggest of storms. And he may not take it away. Here's some more pictures. Here's me in a tuxedo. Yeah, in a wheelchair, thank you. And here's the next picture, my prom date. Yeah. Now, what beautiful girl like Auntie there would take a guy in a wheelchair to the prom when she could have anybody on the football team she wanted? She didn't care about that with me. She enjoyed me. She invited me. I didn't ask her. And when she invited me, you know what I did? I turned her down. Yeah, because I was insecure. And I told her point blank, you don't want to go with somebody in a wheelchair to the prom. You won't be able to dance. I don't care. So we double dated. And we went to the dance floor. And she was strong. And so we did wheelies, we did 360s. It was awesome. Last question. Can the help you are confident in bring you peace, meaning this? If you are in pain and storm, what do you put your hope in based on all of that? It has to be something. Well, what is it or who is it? Jesus wants it to be him. Because he knows about storms. He's been through them. Next picture, please. That's me at Winter Olympics. I went from a manual wheelchair where people had to push me around to a motorized wheelchair. If you ever get a chance, try them out. They're fun. That thing went 8 miles an hour. Oh, I was passing everybody. And I would wait by the door, and if a guy walked up, I would turn around and go do something else. But if a pretty girl came to the door, so she would open it for me. Yay! Right? Yeah. All right. So, and then the last picture is this. That's me at a swim meet. The ribbons are liars because the ribbons on my ears say I got first place, I got dead last place, I got lapped 5 times. I came in dead last. I started swimming. And for whatever reason, that became a therapy tool that the Lord used to build up my strength. I didn't get involved in swimming to think that I was going to get better in some way. I got involved in swimming because I wanted to be with other people like me, to have connection with them. It took about 2.5 years. I started a life vest. I had 2 assistants on either side of me, and for the first 6 months, I floated on my back. And I stretched my arms and my legs. That's all we did. Then I got momentum with my arms. They got back in the water with me, stood me up on my feet, and put my arms out in front of me, and we began to rock like this. I want to rock with you, yeah, yeah. Right? And then slowly but surely, I started to take slow steps in the water, not on the water, in the water. And I would make laps in the shallow end back and forth. And then my PE teacher one day got the life vest off of me so that she could reteach me to swim like I could when I was little. And that was a scary day. Don't come near me. I'm comfortable in my life vest. Stay away. See you later. Whatever. Give me some iced tea. This feels great out here. No, do not. And she said, I want to challenge you. I know it's scary to get rid of the life vest, but you can do this. And she taught me to swim like I could when I was younger. And after quite some time of being involved in water therapy, I started to walk on land. And if people held on to me, I could somehow manage with their support, move my legs and take steps. And then eventually they would let go and see how far I would go. And that's how I started to walk. I don't walk. I don't walk perfectly. And your life isn't perfect either. But maybe your storm has become a life vest to you. And you're hanging too much onto that one thing. And it's robbing you of joy.